Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today I am here with second year computer science student at UTM, Aman Yadhav. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. To be honest, I don't really like computer science. I really only got into it because of my parents. It was a good field to go into at the time, but I'm sure you see the memes around computer science degrees are not doing well right now. But I do really like fashion and content creating. Do I see it as a job? Not yet. I do get money from brands, different little small deals, but I wouldn't say it's consistent enough to call it a job. It's a good side hustle. I'm just being myself. Getting paid to be myself is a cool thing, you know?
Absolutely.
Since high school, I always had big dreams. And whenever I try to tell people, they're like, oh, that's not realistic, or can you really do that? But you have to get to a point where you're delusional enough to do things like that, or get rid of your fear.
What got you interested in fashion?
I low-key just wanted to stand out, right? Something that I really despise is Nike Tech fleeces. I don't even really think it's ugly. It's just a stigma around it. Toronto man's, hood man. The moment you wear it, you think you're someone you're not, you know? Fashion gives you a way to assume things about people. I see someone who wears some shoes you don't really recognize. They don't really care about fashion. Maybe they're locked into school, just formal. Then they'll be like, oh, this guy's a proper guy, you know? And even beyond that, you can show mood. You want to dress dark. Maybe you're not feeling it. Or a whole lot of color. You're an expressive person, creative. You want to present yourself a certain way to other people and don't want to explain things to people. Just make them assume dress a certain way,
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the VoV podcast, Voices of Vic. Today I am here with second year computer science student at UTM, Aman Yadhav. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about a wide range of topics today, but something that I wanted to open with. I'm not typically one for quotes, but I was on your Instagram story this morning, and I saw there was a great quote there. And it was something I don't remember word for word, but it was the fastest way to kill your dreams is by telling them to the wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
Butchered that. The fastest way to kill your dreams is by telling them to the wrong people. Expand on that. This is a place where, I talk to all sorts of students.
Mm-hmm.
I'm obviously a little bit entrepreneurial, so I hope that I'm not one of these wrong people or the audience here.
You're good.
Maybe you can tell us a bit about what your dream is and why you're even on this podcast to begin with.
So why I say don't tell your dreams to wrong people. I've been saying this since high school or something.
Yeah.
There's this phrase I always used to use called complex ambition, where your ambition is so complex, you can't really explain it, you know? Imagine you're telling someone who's low-key a hater, or people who just don't get your vision, right? You tell them, they say, that won't work. That's not going to happen. That's, just be negative about it.
Yeah.
It's going to kill your dream, right? Michael Jordan or LeBron. Imagine while in their come up, someone told them they're bad at basketball, quit. You won't make it. It's too hard.
Yeah.
And they stop. That's why you keep your dreams to yourself. And as long as you really, really believe it, you can really push on it, right?
Absolutely.
And for me, since high school, I always had big dreams. Not necessarily, I know some are can be seen as unrealistic, but in my mind, as long as I believe and I feel I can get there somewhere. So that's why I call it complex ambition. And whenever I try to tell people, they're like, oh, that's not realistic, or can you really do that? But you have to get to a point where you're delusional enough to do things like that, or get rid of your fear. But my dream in specific is not really one thing. To be honest, I just really want impact. I know right now it's not a good time to talk about Kanye, but Kanye was one of my biggest inspirations. Do you know about the Donda album?
I know of it.
But in his rollout, that was the first time I heard of Kanye. And I remember watching the Donda album, and he came out in the arena and everyone was screaming his name like he was a god. People were just praising him a lot, right? It's that's so cool the way he made impact on all these people, where they really just come back to him, feel inspiration. And I want to give that type of impact to the world one day. Doesn't have to be to the level of Kanye, but in a way where I know I impacted someone's life or multiple, and just have my name remembered some way. In a way I'm going to do that, I'm not 100% sure. There's a lot of ways I can do that. But I'm going to choose one eventually and try and get there somewhere.
Absolutely.
But if I tell the average person, they usually bat an eye at it, or be like, what are you talking about, bro? Just focus on school.
Yeah.
Even my parents, I come from a very strict household of brown parents.
Yeah.
It's very school. I mean, I don't blame them. They came to the country because of school education.
Yeah.
Very school based, so that's what they believe in. but they don't even know about the things I do on Instagram, fashion. I keep that all private because I don't want to get derailed or anything. But it's just things like that. Just keep to yourself, your really complex ambitions, and eventually just get there and see what people say then.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. And there's always reasons to not do something, you know, and you just got to find the reasons to do it. There's always going to be like reasons against doing something. That's when the thing is that when people tell you their fears or when they kind of project those worries onto you because the thought of perhaps doing that themselves is scary, or the fact that you're doing it makes them think, oh, if he does it and succeeds, that means I could have done it and I gave up on myself pretty early, blah, 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 whatever it is that goes through their minds. I think it's just, it's tough to hear that as someone with that ambition, because it's not like the points they're making are necessarily crazy or false. It's like, yeah, they're giving you decently logical reasons. They're giving you safe, answers to what you're trying to do, but you have to kind of go above that. You have to be a little bit irrational and stupid to say, I want to make a big impact. I want to make an impact like Kanye. It's like it sounds ridiculous when you're at the bottom, but once you get to the top, it's like this is the mindset I had right from start to finish.
Sure.
So about Kanye, I know you say he's like a bad example perhaps to use now, but what specifically from his impact or what kind of impact did he have on you that made you kind of want to make this leap forward? Because you said that you saw, his impact on a crowd, but did he have a specific kind of message that reached you in a way?
I liked how Kanye was just like, is the word carelessly just himself.
Yeah.
So he didn't really care about what other people thought. And beyond that, his like impact on like fashion itself, the pieces he's made, his impact's still alive right now. Creations as music, the way his music makes me feel motivated or a certain way. It's just beautiful music in general. But the fact that he's just like carelessly himself, doesn't care what other people think, and he knows he is the best. Like people can say it's narcissistic or toxic or whatever, but like if you're not gonna think you're the best, like who else will?
Yeah.
I mean, there are people like it's not bad to think, oh, I have my place in the world or whatever. That's not a horrible thing to be. I don't think that we should strive for that.
Yeah.
I think we should strive to be the best version of ourselves. And if that is someone that isn't necessarily like standing out, that's okay.
Absolutely.
Still be the best at something in your life.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be fame, money, or nothing. Be the best father, best, friend.
Yeah.
Things of that nature.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. So I guess for people that don't know, we should have laid it out at the start, but it is fashion that you're interested in. It is the fashion world that your content is centered around. And it's pretty good. I'm not one for fashion. This is the thing. I mean, I don't know if you're going to judge what I'm wearing right now.
It's a calm little fit. It's a calm little fit.
Thank you. But yeah, no, like my girlfriend has been helping me for like years trying to figure out like right now I'm actually a lot better than I was 2 years ago, just because she's like, we gotta fix some stuff. Like there's some basics that we need to sort out. So 2 years ago, if you saw what I was wearing, maybe it'd be a lot worse. But that stuff doesn't come naturally to me. So I'm interested for you, like where did the interest in fashion even stem from? Is it just natural? Was it cultural? Was it from, I don't know, the hip hop? What got you interested in fashion?
This basically started all in high school, but in high school, like I didn't have my pieces that I needed. It was like I didn't really have a job.
Yeah.
And my parents were like, it's not that they couldn't afford anything.
Yeah.
It's more like they were kind of stingy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they let me buy clothes once a year, and it wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah.
So, I low-key just wanted to stand out, right? So with the clothes that I had, because everyone like, and when I was in high school, it wasn't that long ago, but it was like heavy on tech fleeces, Nike tech fleece.
Yeah.
Or just basic, Jordans or whatever, right? But I got a lot of my inspiration from the internet and other like celebrities or creators. But with the clothes I had, it was a limited wardrobe. But I tried to like wear it in a unique way. Or low-key, like I'd steal some of my sister's clothes. Like it was like female clothing, but I made it like, I don't want to be like fruity or nothing, but nothing wrong with that. But I just wanted to wear it in a unique way. I just wanted to stand out. But in high school, like a lot of people were on me about it. Like some people were like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
Not like I wasn't wearing anything crazy. Like trust me, it was nothing crazy. It was just like different than other people.
Yeah.
Like right now, looking back, it was low-key normal.
Yeah.
Like the average person would say it's normal, but back then it might have been different because everyone was wearing like common lifters to school, and I would dress up a bit, and people would be on my ass then, but even then, like from the Kanye mentality, like I would really not care.
Yeah.
Like I would care to some extent, but at the end of the day, it's not that deep.
100%.
Like it's really not that deep, and if they do care, like it's not their life, you know.
Yeah. 100%. Does it attract more attention or more eyes from the men or from the women? You get the girls on you for the nice clothes, or is it more the guys like, yo, this sick outfit? Like, how did that work?
Yeah, mostly men. Like, I'm not looking for female attention. I got a girl, but I dress for myself, right? Because I like how to dress. But mostly, yeah, like guys be like, oh, those are cool fits, whatever.
Yeah.
Or even girls in high school would hate on it, and someone like complimented it. Like,
Yeah.
like it was really a mix, but people knew it was different.
Yeah.
But didn't really care. Like different is good to me.
Yeah.
Like the last thing I want to be is an average person. Like just like I don't know, just like a need to stand out.
Yeah.
So, something weird like that.
That's fair. I'm interested in this because I think in high school for me it was the same thing. I didn't normally I didn't follow the trends that were going on. There was all sorts of trends, but I thought something that was interesting is that before Champion, I don't know if Champion was big when you were in high school too.
Yeah.
But there was a year, I think maybe like a year or like maybe a couple of years. It's maybe still big. I don't know. Where Champion was the trend and like everyone was rocking Champion. And for me, I was someone who wore Champion before it was big. Yeah. And I would get dissed on for it because nobody thought it was cool beforehand. I was just like, this is just what I wear. Just leave me the fuck alone. And once it got big, it's like, oh, now Carter's fitting in with the trend. I was just like, I've been rocking this the whole time. Yeah. But so the reason I bring this up is because I wonder for you say you're someone, you don't want to fit in with the crowd. Does it ever occur sometimes because there are people out there who they follow the crowd. What they wear is based on what the trends are. So do you ever feel like you make an effort deliberately to try to not be what the trends are, which is in a way still letting the trend control you? So the trend is going to be whatever it is, but you're hell bent on making sure you're not the trend, or do you not care about that? Is it just like I'm in my own world, I'm in Aman's world, I'm going to wear whatever I want, whatever the trend is doesn't impact what I do?
In a way, I do.
Yeah.
Like something that I really despise is Nike tech fleeces.
Yeah.
Too many people have them, and not only that, I don't even really think it's ugly.
Yeah.
It's just a stigma around it.
Yeah.
Like Toronto man's, hood man's, whatever. Like the moment you wear it, you think you're someone you're not, you know, like nothing wrong with it, but I just don't like tech fleeces.
Yeah.
So I do shit on people for wearing tech fleeces.
Yeah.
But like things like that, like those type of trends, yeah. But something like Timberlands, like I'm wearing them right now. Like like some trends, like I think are really cool. I do try my best to stay away from them, but sometimes it's hard. You know, it's trendy for a reason. It looks good.
Yeah.
I don't like think trends are a good thing
Absolutely.
to hop on. Like, there's nothing wrong with trends, but like a trend which is like too much that comes with stigma, like tech fleeces, where you wear something and suddenly you think you're a hood man or someone you're not. Those I don't like.
Yeah.
But the trends which are cool, calm, you know, something like that I mess with.
That's cool. And okay, so this is a unique, I guess, situation because you're on Instagram, you're creating this content for fashion, and you would think that the best creators or the most successful creators are the ones who capture what the audience is interested in at the time. Mm-hmm. So if the audience likes this trend, then the creator, the fashion person, influencer, if you want to call them that, follows that trend and, you know, gets more followers, gets more attention, blah, blah, blah. So you're going against the trends, but you're still finding a way to garner, you know, people's interest. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, not to say that like you're starting your own trends, but it's kind of your job here. It's kind of what might people like that, even though it's not like mainstream, how do I create something new? Mm-hmm. So I think that you have also that possibility of just, you know, working with yourself to start a trend potentially, not whether it's like international or like it goes viral or whatever. There's still definitely micro trends that mm-hmm. you can, you know, generate and have people hop onto. Sorry. No worries. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. One of the things I saw on your page, which I thought was like, I was looking through some of the different posts. One of the coolest ones. I'm a big like Photoshop editing type of guy.
Yeah.
So you did a piece or like a slideshow on Instagram that was, what did it say? I don't need a friend, or I don't need anybody else to take pics with me. I got me. And it's different sets or different scenes of you in different outfits, but it's like, it'll be a picture of you with you photoshopped. Obviously, I'm not doing it justice at all. Maybe we should pop some pictures on the screen to show it, but that's a cool thing. And I don't know if you saw that anywhere, if that's like a trend that you got from somebody else, or if you just started that on your own. How do those things come to mind?
That's been a while, like the clone effect.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. It's just copy and paste some photos and put it on my Instagram story and screenshot.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anyone do like a full slideshow or multiple,
right,
or more than one. So I thought, like I see these slideshows of people doing different things. I haven't seen one of the clone effect. So I took advantage of the trend of doing something different.
Yeah.
And it kind of blew up, and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But those are cool. Like that's some simple. I'm not a great editor. That's simple editing. If I do need complicated editing, I have a guy that just helps me out. But that's a pretty easy, like, cool Instagram story post.
Absolutely.
Anyone can really do.
And when you're coming up with these posts or just this different type of content, like what has to go through your mind? Like, do you treat it as a job now? Like, I don't know if necessarily you're still in the phase where it's like, I'm just having fun with this. It's a passion. Let's see where it leads me. Because so far it's been doing pretty well for you. But like, do you treat it as like, oh, I got to start taking this serious? Or like, what goes on in your head when you're making this stuff?
I've been doing this for like 6 months now.
Yeah.
Hasn't been that while, but it's grown it's almost 15K in 6 months. I'm happy with it. But in terms of this, like, I can't lie, it is taking up a lot of time. And it's not because I can balance school, but I do really like fashion and content creating and everything. And I see it as a job? Not yet, but hopefully one day I want to get to a point where like I'm big enough where I get a steady income. Like I do get money from brands or clothing brands or different little small deals, but I wouldn't say it's consistent enough to call it a job.
Yeah.
But it's a good side hustle. Like I'm just being myself.
Yeah.
Like getting paid to be myself is like a cool thing, you know?
Absolutely.
Like, and people see it, people praise me. Like, it's not for the praises, but it's cool, like a compliment.
Yeah.
And really the only reason I started this fashion thing, like I didn't even know fashion content creators existed until like last year, right?
Yeah.
But at UTM, there was this guy, I'm not going to say his name, but he was a fashion creator. And then I saw him, and I always used to dress before I started doing this. I used to like wear outfits, but then he got me in a video. I was like, cool. Cool. I can be in a video with a fashion creator, right? And then he cut me out the video, and I felt some kind of way. I felt kind of like, damn.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing against him. Like it's cool. Like, it's his content, but like my ego got a little bruised.
Yeah.
So like the only reason I started is so I can lap him in followers.
There you go.
So it wasn't really any need for content creating.
Yeah.
I was like, I already wear fits anyways.
Yeah.
Why not just take more pictures and record it and post it?
Yeah.
And actually because I would just do straight stories, nothing serious. Because I like there's this edge that people want to get over of like fear of what people will think. Especially with like posting on Instagram, it's like a lot of overthinking going on in it. But like I was like, it. Like I know I want to lap this guy.
Yeah.
Like this Loki pissed me off. Like, like he cut me off, but it's okay.
Absolutely.
He's lapped now, so it's fine.
There you go.
Yeah.
In the dust.
In the dust, yeah.
So you're studying computer science.
Yeah.
Is there any universe? Because this is a question that I often face. With the podcast, it's like, what do you study? Economics. It's like, oh, and you're doing a podcast, like that doesn't really align.
Yeah.
This is another thing for you, like computer science and fashion. I don't know if you see them aligning in any way, but when you think of your future, is it more geared towards my plan is to, work as a programmer or a computer engineer of some sort, and I'll have my side hustle in fashion? Or is it my safety net is computer science, but my dream is fashion? Like how do you how do you deal with that? And what, like, I guess maybe talk a bit about your program. Like, how'd you get into computer science?
I can't lie. Initially, like it was like get a job in computer science. This fashion thing won't really take me anywhere, but it is picking up traction. But to be honest, like I don't really like computer science. Like I really only got into it because my parents like pressure, and also like it was a good field to go into at the time.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you see the memes around like computer science degrees are not doing well right now.
Yeah.
But I mean it'll probably curve back up. It's not end all be all, but. I don't really like. Do I really want to do computer science? Not really, but it's a degree and a job, Like hopefully, but I am losing time and like I gotta make decisions. But this fashion influencing thing has opened up pathways in computer science for me. Like people have reached out to me, like startups, to get involved over marketing, and then from marketing, I'm like, okay, do you have programming positions? Like it's add to my resume. Possibly get internships through that. To stack on my resume, and they know me because of my exposure from fashion. But at the end of the day, like I don't really know if I want to do this. Like to be honest, like even school is killing me.
School's killing you.
School's killing me. So my hope, like I'm gonna eventually start a brand by this summer. A lot of planning, like a lot of planning happening right now because I don't want to come out as another Instagram brand. Like there's a lot of Instagram brands that do the same thing over and over. Like it works, but like I want to do something with more longevity. So just really planning this out, mainly marketing over the pieces. I'm like I want to pull off like a marketing masterpiece, right? But hopefully see where that takes me and maybe do that full time. But I know that's not really something stable. Just gotta bet on myself. I won't drop out of school or anything, but. I really don't want to do computer science though. I hear
you.
Yeah.
There's an incredible episode that we recorded that you should watch, and it was episode 83 with a guy, fashion designer who owns a brand, and he's like a year older than me, and he started this streetwear brand, and he went all in on it, and same thing. He's I wouldn't speak on his brand for him, but I should show you some of the pieces he's gotten. It's pretty cool how he kind of went all in on it. And that's the thing. It's like a lot of people, once again, he told the stories, like not a lot of people around me, really knew what I was doing. Like it was stressing my parents out, but he's just like, I saw something, like I had a vision and he turned it into a reality. So his brand's done a few, I think like 3 successful drops at this point already. So it's pretty awesome. Just his story, but yeah, I'll maybe put that episode somewhere on the screen. Or
I think I've seen a clip. Was it, I forgot the name, Suave?
Suave, yeah.
Suave,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
so
I've seen his pieces. They're cool.
He's pretty cool story. Good guy to listen to. But yeah, what you talked about how I want to expand on this. You talked about how, fashion has opened up doors for things like computer science, which is like, whoa, that's a crazy connection. How would that even be possible? And that's something that I don't think a lot of students might necessarily understand or grasp onto, is that there's all of these traditional pathways that we're kind of told about in high school and even in university about, you apply to university, you get in, and you're in university, you got to apply to internships, and it's like we're only really told about one way to get to success, whereas there's so many of these behind the curtain strategies that you could use, like starting a fashion page to get internships. And it's like, that's kind of crazy. Probably because it's less likely, like it's probably harder for someone to try to start a whole brand and then get connected that way. But I'm saying all this just to ask, what are some of the lessons or some of the things you've learned from starting this page that maybe some U of T students might have no idea about, or maybe that you didn't even know about, like only something that kind of revealed itself to you once you started the page? Because like for the podcast, there's a bunch of stuff that I've learned from starting it, but I'm sure that there's some lessons that you've taken from doing this.
One thing I'd say, putting yourself out there is always a good thing. I mean, as long as you're not putting anything negative or crazy or illegal out there, but putting yourself out there shows people or potential employers how you are personality-wise, Depends on the type of content you make. Imagine you make productivity content, finance, things of that nature. It just opens up more lanes and opportunities. Like more people that see you, the better, you know. There's more eyes on you, the more possible. You never know who's watching. You really never know who's watching. So putting yourself out there really is important. Another thing that I learned from like content creating is consistency. Like keep pushing, like no matter what you're doing. Like for me, keep uploading, even if it does bad. Like, but consistency will eventually like intersect with luck. Like I don't think I'm there yet, but I'm gonna keep pushing. Eventually, where I like reach my big break, whatever, blow up, really huge things of that nature. But consistency, like in anywhere in life, like the gym, go every day. Eventually, you're gonna be at your dream shape, right?
Jacked, yeah.
Jacked. Like might take years, might take like depends on genetics, whatever, diet, whatever, sports, anything. Just consistency will eventually like meet luck, and you'll get the right opportunities, and someone will acknowledge it eventually. You know.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd really say.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Something that I wanted to bring up that you might be interested in talking about is like the prevalence of Indian culture in the fashion scene, at least in the fashion scene in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that it's been a blessing or a curse to represent the you're raised in the Middle East, is that right? Where exactly in the Middle East?
But I'm Indian. I was in the Middle East until I was like 12 or 10 or something.
Yeah. So that culture, growing up in that culture, like how has it kind of influenced just your approach to work, to life, to your brand, everything?
One thing I'd say, like, they're really like they are like, especially in GTA, like there's a lot of Indian people. I don't know, you know Brampton, right? Like,
yeah.
Like everyone clowns on it, whatever. Like right now, all the time, like brown people are down. On social media, what Indian street food's cooking us, like everything, right? But I feel like there's still such a big lack of representation.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to say like there's a lot of representation in like black communities, but like there is definitely like a lot of progress, especially in the fashion field. It's very like black community run. Like I don't really see other brown creators, which really annoys me. Like I get tired of it, right? Like nothing against other people. I want to see like my people in the same industry too. But I feel like a lot of these opportunities aren't given to like brown people in the fashion community. Like I find that like I mean I don't want to say it's because of this. Like I don't want to assume, but I see creators that are way smaller than me, and I've been grinding way more, numbers better, everything, right? And they get opportunities that I've been like begging for. And like, damn, why did they get it, but I didn't? Because and every aspect that a brand would want, like I'm better, like numbers, whatever, post, creativity, fashion. Yeah. So I'm like, damn, like why did I not get that, right? And I always see this, and I can't help to think it's because like I'm like the only like Indian here, right? I don't want to assume that, but I find that it's harder for me to get opportunity versus other people. I see that in my peers, right, and other content creators, way smaller, whatever. They get opportunities that I've been trying to get. Like I reach out to the same people and they say no, this, whatever, right? That really it does annoy me, but eventually like keep pushing, you know, get big enough to the point where like damn, like how could we say no? Mm-hmm. That's what I'm hoping for. But coming from an Indian background, like doing this fashion, like my parents have no idea about anything, right? Like, even my clothes, like in my house, like I put all my crazy clothes in my basement because my mom sees like, oh Lord, like I'm cooked. Like she's like I mean I don't blame them like for them not understanding something like this. They're not wrong for saying, you know, put all focus in school. Like it makes sense. I'm not saying they're wrong or anything.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean like I can't explore different things, you know?
Yeah.
Like I want to be diverse, you know, like in my life I wanted to do a bunch of different things. Like have a whole lot of dad lore. That's really what I want.
Yeah.
You know, just do a bunch of side missions.
Yeah.
Like they're not wrong for saying to focus, but like this, I don't really like enjoy school like that.
Yeah.
like I do want to do something like I'll enjoy. Like maybe there is something in school I haven't found yet that I have enjoyed that I will enjoy. But yeah, like it's tough coming from a brown background. Like Indians are very like conservative, right? And strict about certain things. I understand like that's what they're raised on.
Yeah.
Not all Indian parents, like mine are just like fairly fresh to the country. Like there's some here that have like, assimilated to the culture, more progressive, whatever. But like mine still need time. But eventually, like they'll eventually understand. But what really makes them understand is like to see like proof in the pudding, results. Like if one day this makes me a millionaire, like what can they really say, like
Absolutely.
that's what I'm aiming for, like something that like keep doing this to the point where they're like, like why stop him, like just get enough motion where they can't dispute it.
Absolutely. Yeah, results, they have to speak for themselves. 100%, I agree with that. Circling back to the opportunities part, was there ever like, did something happen that made you think, oh, they didn't get back to me, or they didn't accept me for this because of my race? Like, is there something that happened for you to think that?
Not specifically, but like I had peers that applied to the same things, reach out to the same people, and they like respond to them, but they don't respond to me. I'm like, damn, why do you not respond to me?
Yeah.
Like the response, And one thing I really hate is like, the reason I started this too is like getting egoed, if you know what that means. You know what egoed means?
No.
Getting egoed means like, how do I describe it? Like someone like humbles you, not humbles you, egoed. How do I describe this?
But if you want, we're going to do a quick break to let the cameras cool down.
Okay.
And we can get right back into it. We'll find the definition and we'll jump back into that.
Sounds good.
We're back. Short break with Aman. Did we find the definition of what ego means?
Egoed. Ego basically means someone like acts like a celebrity to you. Or like, imagine you're a friend.
Have you reached that stage yet?
No, definitely not. I'd never ego someone, even if I was big. It's like disrespectful to me. But imagine your friend. He like you text him a bunch and he leaves you unseen and doesn't respond. Right?
Yeah.
He egoed you. Like, why are you being a celebrity?
Yeah.
Just respond. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hate when people ego me, cause like, come on, bro.
It's
like,
an awful feeling.
Like, chill out, man. Like, you're not a huge celebrity. Like, a lot of these fashion creators in Toronto, they act like they're way bigger than they actually are. Like, at the end of the day, like it's a big world, Like, like 4,000 followers doesn't mean you're a big celebrity,
Yeah.
Like, even for me, like, obviously I know like 14,000 or whatever is bigger than like an average U of T student.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean I'm a celebrity. Like, it doesn't mean like I won't respond to your DM or anything,
Yeah.
So things of that nature, I just don't like when people ego me. And I find like a lot of these creators, like I want to collaborate with bigger creators in Toronto, but like they don't respond. Like, and then they respond to these smaller people. I'm like, damn, bro, like, why you, like, what the hell? Come on now. But it's really not that deep. For me, it's more motivation.
Yeah.
Like literally, like every time like someone egos me, my next goal, okay, let me lap them.
Yeah.
Let me pass them. I have my next goal is 24,000 because there's someone who egoed me.
Yeah.
So I want to get there before the end of the year.
Yeah.
So I can pass them.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's I mean, disrespect can push you a long way for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Having people kind of look over you or look past you, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you think it's the black culture that dominates in the fashion?
For sure.
Yeah.
They've been the innovators in this.
Yeah.
Like do you know who Virgil Abloh is?
No.
The creator of Off-White. Just like they really run the scene. That's good. That's amazing. They're pushing. They're really pushing it. But I do want to see more brown people, and I hope to be the one that inspires more brown fashion creators to put themselves out there, and especially in this like local GTA area. I really want to like inspire like the brown people to think they're cool. Like when I was growing up, like over here, like elementary, middle school, like I was always like mentally in my mind I was like, yo, damn, like yo, I'm really not cool, like damn, like people will make fun of people for being Indian or brown. In Brampton especially, I lived there for a couple of years. Like it was bad there. Even in high school, like there are a lot of brown people, but still like they don't see themselves as like cool or like someone to look up to, you know, think, oh, you know, nerd, whatever. Like, I want to change that perspective a bit. And if I can make some impact in that, like, that'd be amazing. And I really want to like set an example for other people in that space, and just like instill confidence in other brown people.
Absolutely. What about fashion interests people so much? It's because it's a lot about, I think it's self-expression to a certain extent, but like, yeah, for me, I mean, I it's not natural. Like that, I don't find my self-expression in my fashion, but a lot of people do. It's such a big thing. You were talking about how, you know, some of these micro influencers think that they're bigger than they are. My girlfriend, I was telling you earlier, huge into fashion. She worked at, fashion, what's it called? Fashion Art Toronto. FAT. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I heard of that.
She worked at like one of their show, like in late 2024, so like last semester. She like was helping with the event, and she was literally told, she's like, there's going to be some of these micro influencers who roll through. Now, you don't refer to them as micro influencers. They are macro influencers. You treat them like they're like the A-list celebrities. You have to like really make sure that their ego is fulfilled, is filled up. Is like, don't kind of look over them, even though it's probably really easy to, because like, who the hell are these people? If you make them feel good, you're gonna be much better off. It's very interesting, just like the kind of games that you gotta play in that world. So, but anyways, that was all to say, people care about fashion. Why do you think people care about fashion so much? Like in terms of a self-expression angle.
Fashion is like basically who you are. Like even you, right?
Yeah. Like
immediately by seeing you, like you might think, oh, I'm not really into fashion.
Yeah.
But from your beanie style, I can tell you play hockey.
Yeah.
Your shoes, Sambas, like I can tell like you dabble into. Like, you saw some people wear it, thought it's cool. Might as well try it on.
Well, this is my girlfriend that got me these. So,
well, your girl got it. You know,
she knows.
They were a trendy shoe at the time.
Okay, there you go.
Like I see that you someone put you on.
Yeah.
The beanie tells me you play hockey.
Absolutely.
Just like things I can just assume like the fashion gives you like a way to assume things about people.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, I used to love shoes a lot. Not as much anymore.
Yeah.
But you can really tell a lot from looking at someone's shoes, like what type of person they are.
Absolutely.
Like not to say you need to wear branded shoes or not anything.
Yeah.
You can just make assumptions.
Yeah.
Like I see someone like who wears like some shoes like you don't really recognize. They don't really care about fashion.
Yeah.
And maybe they're locked into school.
Yeah.
Whatever. Oh, they're wearing like construction boots. Okay, they trade workers.
Yeah.
You know, like 100%. You can make assumptions like looking at people's clothes.
Yeah.
And like that's like an expression you want to present yourself a certain way to other people, and don't want to explain things to people. Just like make them assume. Just dress a certain way,
Absolutely.
you know. Dress formal, then they'll be like, oh, this guy's a proper guy, you know.
Yeah.
He takes care of himself.
Yeah.
Like even hygiene, like. If you dress bummy every day, people are gonna think you're dirty.
100%.
And if you dress formal every day, people are gonna think you're clean, or like in the middle, you know, just the old money aesthetic. Oh, you got some money in you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like that's just a way, and even beyond that, like you can show mood, you know. You wanna dress dark, you know, maybe like you're not feeling it. Or like, you know, like a whole lot of color, you know, like you're an expressive person, creative.
100%.
You can tell when someone is a certain way. And like me, like I'm someone who like assumes a lot.
Yep.
Like I don't like not to say like my assumptions are always right. I don't think I really missed that like that.
Yeah.
but like it helps me with assuming things about people.
I've never heard it put that way. It's actually a really good point. Just about like it's a bit of a statement. Even if you're not trying to make a statement, like you said, the construction boots. These guys aren't trying to be like I want to show people I'm in the construction, you know. World, it's just no, I have to wear these boots so I don't get nails in my feet, but it still makes a statement. So yeah, for me, I guess when I'm like not aware at all of my fashion, maybe like 2 years ago, the statement would be, this guy's not aware of his fashion at all. He just walks around doing whatever. Like you said, maybe like grinds at school. But for you, what what kind of statement or what assumptions do you think people make about you with your style? When you what kind of style are you trying to portray?
Every time I go out, like if it's cool, I'm not gonna lie, like it's hard to like put on a fit every day.
Yeah,
Because sometimes I'm not feeling it. I just want to wear a sweatsuit, be comfortable.
yeah,
But when people do see me, I want them to assume like, yo, like, you know, like I care about clothes. Like I'm someone who cares about what I wear. And with certain fits, like, you know, like sometimes I want to dress a little snazzy, go to certain places, like a nice little restaurant, or, you know, some things of that nature. I want people to think, you know, like, hey, like he takes care of himself, you know, he's not somewhere he doesn't belong. So these assumptions, did I wear clothes in a way where I feel like I'm what I'm trying to portray? Like it's art in a way, right? Like,
yeah,
like I want to feel like a thug today.
yeah,
Yeah, let me wear a bandana and low ride a bit, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And then people think that, okay, cool, like it worked,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So things of that nature, like whatever I want to feel that day, like I can wear it,
100%.
and people are gonna think that, and that's what I want.
100%. 100%. Where do you see, you know, this taking you? Let's say once you graduate. Let's say once you're out of U of T, where do you see yourself with this?
Like the main thing for me beyond content creation, I want to put out clothing. Like I know you talked about your other guests, like he's made that next step, but making that next step is pretty tough. Like it takes investment, a lot of time, and it's your own art piece. Like you have to be articulate and care a lot. Like I really care about how I portray my clothes, right? So hopefully by the time I graduate, like that's going somewhere. And this content creating thing, like, bro, this content creator life is a good life. Like, even if you don't make money, you get a lot of free clothes, free food. Like, I haven't bought clothes since like July or something, and I've gotten a lot of clothes since then.
Yeah.
And all free cost, right? Like, I'm not complaining about this content creator life. Like, I'd want to do this, like, as to a point where it's like not corny.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be like 35 and like making like skits, you know. Like I want my content to mature with me.
Yeah.
But I'm young right now. I'm only 19. Like I have the freedom to do that, you know.
100%.
But I see myself like doing this for a long time, and just putting my name out there, and hopefully the clothing like really pops off. And like my clothing, like I really want it to be special, and be artistic. And this marketing, I need the marketing to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
By God's grace, like the whole reason I didn't really want to push the clothing thing is because I was really overthinking how I'm going to present this. So like I don't got the resources of nice film, whatever. But someone hit me up recently, and he's like a film director. He has his whole marketing company and wanted to make a brand, and now we're partnering up, and me and my friend. So hopefully this summer, like super cool pieces of content comes out. Hopefully I do this for a long time.
That's awesome. That's sweet. So I'm interested in this question, and it's about the respectability of work. So I'm sure we can sit here and talk about some jobs where it's like, yeah, I respect that job. Whoever works in that job, like, respect. And then we can talk about some other jobs where it's like, all right, like, you're getting paid, but like that's a little bit shady. I don't know if I really respect what you do. With something like fashion, it's like it's like there are extremes. Let's just set out the extremes. What's the most respectable job you can think of? I don't know, maybe like doctor or like military service, like this kind of thing.
Doctor, military, maybe engineer.
Yeah, 100%. And then on the other end, like the least respectable jobs you can think of,
like OnlyFans.
Yeah. I was literally gonna say porn. So this is your scale. Fashion is clearly somewhere in the middle of that. Do you ever, conceptualize like, okay, if I commit to fashion, if I commit to this as an art, is it a job that I feel, I can take myself seriously in? Like, I can respect what I do. I can wake up in the morning, and despite the fact that there are people out there, saving lives in the hospital or saving lives on the front lines, I can still know that, like, no, I'm doing something important here. Like, I'm doing something that matters. I'm not selling my body on porn. I'm doing something that, you know, has a positive impact on the world.
For me, like, like the title content creator, like it doesn't like I don't really like it.
It's got like a bad haze around it.
Yeah,
a
like
bit.
influencer content creator.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay, buddy, like, you know, like I don't want to be labeled as that, but eventually I want to get to a point where like I could be called an entrepreneur,
Right.
a creative,
Yes.
an artist, you know,
yeah.
things of that nature. But mainly, like, I'd feel fulfilled once I make impact on people, and I see that impact, like, there's proof of it.
Yes.
And I'd be like, wow, like I really impacted these lives.
Yeah.
And in that way, I'll be fulfilled. But as a content creator, like I don't really want to be labeled as that, like long term. Like even if it's true, like I want to branch out of it.
Yeah.
Maybe get to a point where like businesses, whatever, and
Absolutely.
involve that into my content creating.
Yeah.
Like content creating, like an audience is so valuable these days.
100%.
Like I'm showing myself to 14,000 people. That's a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
Now imagine if like 100 people buy an item that's worth $30, you know, like that's three grand right there. Like,
Yep.
like an audience, no matter the size, like even 1,000 followers, that's a big audience at the end of the day. 1,000
100%.
people seeing you. But I want to make impact through that, and maybe like for my brand or little side hustles, businesses that I want to start. I have a lot of ideas in my head, complex ambition.
Yep.
That I want to eventually do that make impact and like separate me from this content creator world. Like I don't want to be a corny guy for like
Yep.
when I'm older, or like, you know, for my kids, whatever,
100%.
with a family,
Yep.
things of that nature.
I hear you. So yeah, that's something that I think about too. Like obviously this podcast is in the social media world, and I don't know. Something about the idea of like purely growing my career from social media. I don't know. Like I don't know if I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. I just think the fact that like there's a lot of people who are not serious about it. It kind of taints it. It's like anyone can just do it for fun.
Yeah.
And even like just like kind of fooling around, not putting too much effort or care into it, still become successful. So it's like the people who actually work their ass off and try really hard, when they're successful, it's like, okay, who cares? This dickhead did it without trying, you know? And it's like, yeah, it's just a bit tainted. And I try to, you know, separate myself by knowing, no, I'm going to try to take this seriously. You know, I'm going to try to do some meaningful work. I'm not like just posting weird shit at random. Like it's very thoughtful. But yeah, like I also, same thing. I'd be interested in just something about having a more established kind of career, a more established venture that's like, no, I have a business.
That's true.
You know, I'm not just making these fun little videos. It's like I have a serious product that I want to grow, or service that I want to offer, something like that. It's something that maybe entrepreneurial, you know, young people have to kind of battle with. It's like I'm stepping out of this traditional pathway, but now that I step out, I've kind of lost any sense of validation, of societal validation. You know what I mean? It's something that you kind of have to grapple with.
Like the art of podcasting, like it's been getting disrespected lately. Like I see a thing where like, oh, anyone can buy a mic.
100%.
Like there are a lot of useless podcasts out there.
Yeah.
Of like fucking like IG hoes and like little kids talking about random things, you know? Like, okay, anyone like, they're like, okay, just buy a camera, buy a mic.
100%.
Anyone can have a podcast, right?
Yeah.
But like I know for you, like your goal is like a podcast with value, right?
Yeah.
Like you actually like give value to the listener.
Hopefully.
I mean, I think you do, right? Like
I think you've been pretty good today, so
Thank
people
you.
will take something away from that.
So like those type of podcasts, like they have potential
Yeah.
to be long lasting. Even if you don't want to do it full time, like at least like someone can take something out of it. The clips you, the way you put it out, inspiration, like successful people you had on your podcast. They get kind of, the viewer gets insight from it, right? There's like podcasts like I know a lot of people don't like Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah.
Like you get a lot of information from his podcast, learn something.
Yeah.
It's, like I don't know too many podcasts, but that came to mind. But those are successful podcasts, right? Like once you get to that level, it's not really corny, but it really, really depends on the subject matter, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing, is like like everything that's corny when you start out is like the coolest, most respectable thing once it's successful.
That's
So it's so tough, but it's like that's what you got to go through. That's why the success is actually worth something, because a lot of people can't persist with anything long enough to actually get that success. It's like they start, people say it's corny, they start to believe it, and then they just drop out. It's like the people right now that are huge. I this is what I thought about. I was like the biggest, or let's say my favorite podcasters or YouTubers or business people on social media, I didn't come across them till they were at like hundreds of thousands of followers already, right? So if I, who is someone who takes a lot from their content, for example, didn't find them until they were already huge and established, that just makes me realize that, okay, I have to push through. There's a bigger prize at the end of this, but there's going to be a long time where you're not, as at the level that you want to be. And I don't know if you're ever necessarily at that level, because I think entrepreneurial people tend to just always want more and more and more. But yeah, anyways, that's just how it goes.
But wanting more, like being ambitious, like without like a set goal, like once you get there, you want to be bigger and bigger and bigger. It is a toxic mindset, like of never being satisfied. Yeah. But I feel like it's good to have, because you don't want to be settled somewhere or satisfied somewhere. Like for me, like I'm very ambitious, and my girlfriend, she's very like simple. Like nothing wrong with being simple. Like simple as in like, she's happy with what she has, right? She doesn't have like a crazy, I want millions, I want this. Yeah. She'd be happy with like a smaller house, family, whatever, her job, whatever. And that kind of changed my perspective a bit, because before I was like, oh, I need millions, I need this, I need that, I need this. But there is pleasure in the small things. You don't need, like need is not a good thing in everything, right? Yeah. Like you have to be satisfied with where you are, and what you have, and to be grateful, right? And if you keep needing and needing and needing, you'll forget about the things that you've gone through and the things that you wish you had before that you now have. Yeah. And just be ungrateful, right?
100%, yeah. And I made a video about this a while ago, and I was talking about, once again, I said I'm not big on quotes, but one quote that I did like was strive to be grateful for more, which is like, basically to break that down, it's like strive. Okay, that's the word that's in there. That's talking about ambition. That's talking about, chasing after chasing after your dreams. Grateful. I think gratitude is really important. I think that, you have to be able to cherish what you have already to really be happy. Because if you're always unhappy with what you have and you're looking for more stuff, then you're just going to live a life of misery, I think. So be grateful, but then strive to be grateful for more. So what does that mean? Be grateful for more stuff. So keep pushing, but so you have more stuff to be grateful for. I don't know. It's like, it's a paradox. It's like you got both in there. And what was I going to say? I was going to keep building on that, but yeah, the people with a low threshold for satisfaction, it's a blessing and a curse, right? To be happy with not much. It's the person who's having a fantastic week when, they go to a restaurant and see a movie and they're like, oh my God, I'm living my best life. It's like, it's a blessing and a curse, because like it's very easy for them to be happy. It doesn't take much. They can be smiling, they can be laughing, they can be having a good time. But it's a curse in the sense that, it's harder to try to get up and put yourself through pain to succeed and to achieve things, because it's like, why would I put myself through pain when I can very easily, feel good doing simple stuff? So I don't know, once again, you gave that example of your girlfriend. I don't know for you if you consider your ambition a blessing or a curse, but in a way, I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, for sure. I think it is a bit of both. Like it took me a long time to realize like I don't need to get there. Like getting somewhere and then wanting more and more and more. Like that's a pretty toxic mentality, right? Like I'd be thinking, oh, like my goal for like the January, right, was to get to 10K. I got to 10K, right? And immediately, like I wasn't satisfied. I wanted more and more and more, right? Yeah. Like it took me a while. Like my girl, like she's happy with the little things, right? Like it taught me a lot about like being content or happy with the little successes. You know, little wins are better than big wins. They all add up. But really just be grateful about what you have. And just try not to like demotivate yourself, diminish yourself.
Yeah.
And keep like being level-headed, motivated, and like grateful for what you have.
Absolutely. It's been a good conversation so far. I want to see how much time we're at.
Sure.
It's looking pretty good. For someone who wants to get into the fashion world or who wants to get into social media, kind of doing what you do, what's one, let's say one social media tip that you would give someone, like a piece of advice that you've learned from your experience?
I'd say definitely like stand out, but creatively. So there's so many like fashion creators in Toronto. Like there's a lot. Like I run across a new one every day, right? But one thing I always think is like, okay, another one, you know, like they all the same, another one, you know, like find a way to really stand out, whether that's like a creative outfit or like cool editing, you know, like the clone thing.
Yeah.
Like they'll remember that, you know, just a way where you can like be different and not like everybody else. Cause there's a lot of people that are in this space. Like I didn't realize how like saturated the fashion space is until like this year or last year. Like there's a lot of people, even in my school in UTM, like I know over like 25 people trying to do the same thing as me, you know. Like it's so saturated. You have to find a way to stand out in some way, whether creatively or with your outfit or with funny videos. But just try not to, like, it's good. There's something called the 3% rule, where you find inspiration from something, you copy it, but you change it in like slightly. Or a lot, you know, more than 3%. They say 3%, but
Yeah.
like put your own twist into it to separate yourself and be like, okay, like that's Aman's content.
Yeah.
That's Blessed by Aman, or that's, you know, whatever, you know, that's Voice of Vic. Like that's what they do. Like they have a unique aspect to your content, and it's okay not to do that every time. Like inspiration is a good thing. To copy things, that's not bad. Like it's a good thing, right? But it's hard to come up with those ideas that separate yourself. But if you do, that's great. So I'd say really just try and do that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I that 3% rule, that's Suave, that AJ Suave told me that same rule. He's like, you find a piece, you just tweak it like the slightest bit, like 3%, and that, like, it's a completely new thing now, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, no, it seems like that's a thing in the fashion world, I feel, right?
Yeah,
that's a rule in the fashion world. But that's useful. It is useful. That's something that, yeah, people can definitely gain from. Do you have any final thoughts, any last words you'd like to share with the audience before we sign out here? It's been a pretty good talk.
I'd say, like really like be yourself, you know, to stand on business. If you really want to do something, like obviously I'm not where I want to be or successful, right? But it took a big bump, a big hump to get over to like post, you know, like little wins are better than big wins. And, just like keep doing it. Consistency is key to everything. And eventually you'll be at somewhere where you're satisfied at, and then keep going and growing and growing. And hopefully you can get somewhere. This podcast too, like the potential in it is crazy. Like I don't know if you're gonna keep doing this after you graduate, but if you keep doing it, like keep growing, you know, like
See where it goes.
See where it goes. Like
Yeah.
like it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Like what's the loss in this? You're probably passionate about doing podcasting at this point.
Absolutely.
And it's a conversation.
100%.
It's a win-win. Like there's really no losses in anything. Like it's really not that deep for a lot of things. People care too much about what other people think.
Yeah.
It's really not that deep. It's a big world.
Yeah.
The world keeps going. People have their own problems.
Yeah.
Your problems are not their problems.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I one of the worst insults that I hear is when people call other people tryhards.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, like, this is something that I had in hockey growing up, because I didn't play necessarily high level hockey growing up. It was more of a casual league, but I still wanted to try. The point was to win.
Yeah.
So, like, when there would be players who would try to downplay, effort, or like make fun of people for skating too hard, or trying to, do any sort of cool plays, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, this guy's trying so hard, blah, blah, blah. there is nothing cool about not trying.
I agree.
It is the lamest, dumbest shit ever to try to say that, you know, I'm just so chill, or I'm just so casual, it's so easy for me that I don't try. I don't like to try. It's like, you are a loser. No offense.
No,
I respect trying. You got to try.
I hate people who hate on trying. Like,
yeah. You hate on effort, you're a dumbass. Okay.
Yeah, for real.
Life is effort.
Yeah.
So whether it's fashion, whether it's podcast, whether it's anything you want to do, give it 100%. If it's not worth doing it completely, it's not worth doing it all.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I got to say about that. And appreciate you coming on. We're here. This is Aman Yadhav, very, you know, well-dressed gentleman here, and me. I'm chilling, laid back with my beanie, and we'll go from there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. That is VoV episode 98, and you can follow us on Instagram at Voices of Vic, and we will see you next Sunday. Peace out.